Hi, everyone. It's Justin here. Let's kick off with a powerful thought. The greatest mistakes we make is living in constant fear that we will make one. This is a quote by John Maxwell. And today we are tackling how to fight the realtor doldrums and trying to keep stress at bay. So let's dive in. Now, I do want to take a quick pause on this because I'm starting to hear it, right? We are starting to get into the markets these days where we're starting to get stressed and frustrated and um, well, let's just be honest, negative, right? And I've gone through this before, I've watched before, and I just want to kind of help everybody get through this and pass this. And I've come through it myself, and that's how I want to kind of start this. I'm going to give you a quick story, and and this is why I want to try to help you fight this. Man, this was years ago. I was in a training company. I was doing good stuff. I was one of the better, one of the more popular, one of the more respected trainers in the organization. And there was a bunch of us. There's probably 30, 40 of us in this, probably about 20 of us in this organization. And you'd hang out and you'd do things and you'd talk and you'd share. And people started to complain and get irritable and stuff like this. And I was starting to get to that point in time where I was looking for a new job, not because I wanted to be away from the company, but I wanted to take those next steps. And I wanted to be that person that would go to the next level. And I had an opportunity, an amazing opportunity to interview with a company. And um, it was a headhunter that brought it out and set up the interview. And we go through it, and I go to the interview, and I'm talking to these guys, and I'm doing a really pretty good job with it, I think, anyways. And when I get done with the interview, I get done, go back, leave, and I call the headhunter, and they go, "You you are more than qualified." This came from the company. They told him that you are more than qualified. You are really good at what you do. Um, we just feel like you have the wrong energy for us. And I was devastated. I'm like, and they basically said I was negative. And when I did this, I called the guy up and I asked him that question. That's what he said. And I started to argue with the guy, and the guy just went silent until I heard myself speak. And I went, whoa, okay. Well, it became a reality for me at that particular moment. It became a reality for me that I needed to step outside and look what I needed to do, because I was getting caught up in the negativity and the stress that everyone was feeling inside that company. And I needed to take steps. So hopefully today we can kind of walk you through some of those steps that will help you get through that. First, though, I want to start by identifying some of those signs, because hopefully if you can identify them early enough, you might be able to fight them off a little bit. Well, the first one is just exhaustion, right? Both physical and emotional exhaustion. You're going to feel drained, overwhelmed, lacking energy, hard to wake up in the morning. Um, right? You just feel drained and things like that. This is one of those. Reduced performance, right? You come into work, you go and chat with other people for the while, you go do other things, you're making more mistakes, you are becoming more lackadaisical. It's one of those challenges that are out there. Detachment. It's a big one where you come out here from a detachment perspective. You don't really necessarily care about the results. You complain more about the clients, the colleagues around you, right? It becomes more of a situation. Again, physical, you're going to see other things in there, right? Increased headaches, stress, irritability, stomach issues, gastrointestinal issues, right? Those become challenges. Sleep issues. You have a hard time sleeping, or again, you feel more drained. Decreased motivation, right? You just don't want to do what you want to do. You're not feeling as enthusiastic about it. You will fight anxiety and depression with a lot of this, right? You're always feeling worried, sad, hopeless, lonely, things like that. Isolation is part of that, right? And then neglecting self-care, right? You stop exercising, you eat the wrong meals, you forget of, you just don't care, right? It becomes that issue. So these are some of them that are out there. Again, just as identifying those signs, look for emotional exhaustion, reduced performance, detachment, physical symptoms, sleep issues, irritability, lost motivation, anxiety, depression, isolation, or even neglecting self-care. Now, these signs can definitely severely impact you and your personal life. A diminished mental attitude can lead to poor decision making and decreased creativity. Loss of motivation can also result in procrastination, missed deadlines, reduced energy levels, um, attention to productivity, attentiveness, and responsiveness for impacting both clear satisfaction and personal relationships. I'm also going to add one other thing to that I think is extremely important for us to understand. And it's really, um, we are very quick to criticize. We are very quick to judge others and not time to reflect. All of this is from the realtor doldrums, the realtor stress that comes out there, and you're going to want to find ways to fight this off. So let's talk about some basic steps to fight this off. One, and simply one of the strongest ways always is going to be is time management. Now, I'm not a big fan of the word time management, but I do like the point that it gets across, right? I want you, because again, it's about self-management. We only have so many minutes in a day. We can't manage those times. It's already running all the time. But to help manage yourself in a calendar, create those daily tasks, come through and stick to it. Atomic Habits is a good book by James Clear that really does do well in talking about how that works for you in setting schedules and building habits. And these are stackable habits, is really what they talk about. And then prioritize those tasks, right? Find the ones that are most important and keep working down all the way down through that stuff and find the urgency in them, right? And then last but not least, do make sure you're using some sort of tool to help keep that calendar in place. For me, it's always my phone that I'm in here. I have it on here at all times. If it's not in my calendar, it just doesn't exist. It has been true for me forever. Now that I've succinctly got everything on my phone, it works out well for me. I put it out there. If people want to schedule my time, I use tools like Calendly to help schedule, and they help put that stuff in there, right? You can put all that kind of good opportunity in there. And again, now that we have AI in place, especially if you're a Google person, you can use Gemini and it can actually help you prioritize some of that stuff if you need that little extra help in there. The next one I want to talk about is really your physical and mental, or your physical health. We'll talk about mental in a second, but we're going to talk about physical health. Get into some sort of regular activity, start exercising, start doing things. There are actually endorphins that are created for you when you exercise. You will feel better. I mean, you'll be sore and you may be tired, but that energy, that mental boost, it reduces stress. It helps out. I'm going to tell you though, when you are going through and you're doing those exercises, I want you to find out when. Now, you can't always control this, but if you can, find out when the best time to work out for you is. For me, it's afternoon or evenings. I just can't. I will talk myself out of the morning workout every time. Every time I'll talk myself out. Like I'll go good for a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month. But eventually I'm like, yeah, no, I'm going to sleep in and I'm going to blow it off. Here, for me, I discovered years ago, sometime between 1 and 5 is usually when I try to get it in. Nice thing for me is I get to kind of schedule that so it works. If I have to do a noon one, I can, and I can get that done. Try to avoid the crazy foods, right? Try to have that balanced diet. Try to make sure you're eating healthier. Stay with those fruits and veggies. Make sure you are getting some good food into you. Supplements always help, but it's never going to be better if you have natural organic food that's in your diet that's going to help work throughout there. You will see in a previous video, hopefully it's up here if I've done my job right. A previous video we talked about removing the seed oils out of your life. Simple things like that could actually help maintain that a little bit better. Keep hydrated. Have your water all the time available to you. Try not to go crazy on the caffeine. I know I can't anymore. If I get too much caffeine after about 4 or 5 o'clock, and I don't drink coffee, I drink mostly tea, it'll keep me up all night. And my challenge at all times, what I'm trying to do all day long, is remove that sugar intake. So if you come in here, you should be able to hopefully remove, work hard to remove that sugar. Again, go more natural, go apple, oranges, fruits, strawberries, whatever. Really make sure you try to reduce that sugar intake. Next is your mental health. This is good. And I'm going to come back to what I said earlier. Part of the signs I always think about when I think about people starting to get really, really stressed, it becomes really easy to judge others. So I really want you to start thinking about others and how they think about things and stuff like that. And again, I have this and it's in my shorts around here. Is I love this quote. I've never seen the whole show, but I absolutely love some of the things that comes from the TV show Ted Lasso. And one of the things that he said one time while throwing darts was he found a quote that the quote said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And I think that's huge. And it's huge today for us because when we come out there and talk and we come out there and fight all the stuff we're fighting, it's really easy to get pissed off at the person that cut you off or get pissed off at the worker that didn't do their job or the colleague that didn't do their job or the other realtor that didn't do their job. It can be really, really easy to do that. But we don't know what's happening in their life. We don't know what's going on. They may have had a bad day. And, while it's not good for them to take it out on you, give them grace, right? We need to have some of that stuff out there. And we're all in the service industry in here. So we have to work really hard on giving all of ourselves grace and a little bit of reflection and making sure we're doing what we need to do. So some of the ways that we can kind of get that done is practice mindful meditation, right? Or meditation, I guess is how you want to say it. Where, I like affirmations, try to tell yourself some things in the morning. I'm going to do this. It's a great day. It's a beautiful day. Even if it's raining, it's a beautiful day, right? You can have that in place. Take regular breaks, right? In your calendar, you should have, remember I told you earlier to have a calendar. In that calendar, you should have at least one day a week. I prefer two, to be honest with you, that you're taking off and doing things with the family, for yourself, whatever. Enjoy your hobbies. Once a month, you should have a weekend that you just go do something. Every year, you should have 2 or 3 vacations already planned. So if you plan all that stuff out, you know what your rest of your schedule looks like, and you know what you get to look forward to. Get those hobbies into play more. Start doing what you've been doing. If, I'm a basketball guy. I love basketball. I love golf. I'm hoping to get more golf in this year. I haven't done it in a long time. Hoping to get more of that in play. Make sure that you have that out there and you're working in that arena. So get that mental brain straight. Now, again, going back to the first one, because I kind of blew past it, do some meditation, affirmations. There's apps out there for that stuff. Self-talk is really huge. There's a really good video of a young girl that's screaming in the mirror, telling herself she's going to have a good day. She's amazing, things like that. It's a cute video, but it's powerful, I think, for what you can do with self-talk. And then number 4 here, do a work-life balance. Make sure you are balancing between work and life. Our world can be very, very challenging. It can require a lot of time, especially non-traditional hour times. More traditionally, when our family, our kids, our loved ones are doing activities, which sometimes will make it so we have to miss things. Find ways that you don't miss it all, right? We still got to make the money. We still got to get things done. And do that. But I'm also going to tell you, make sure when you're there and you're in your family, personal life's moment, be present. Be there for them. Don't be checking your email. Don't be checking your watch to see if you missed anything. Nothing's going to fall apart in the 2 hours that you're doing whatever you're doing. Enjoy that moment. Be in that specific time. If you have to, turn off your phone. Before the smartphones came along, if we got off of work, it was off of work. You weren't going to get that conversation. Doesn't have to be any different now. Always make sure you set that time for family. John Maxwell has several books out there. Some of his books talks about what I have monikered, and he has monikered the law of energy. Energy is given and taken away. Find things that recharge you. You have to find those vacations, downtime, activities, whatever it is, family and friends, whatever that is, to be with them and make sure that works for you. Be present in their moments. All right. So those are some personal things that we can do to get things moving. But it doesn't mean that we can't take advantage of some technologies that are out there, right? So let's talk about some technology ways that we can actually help move forward and eliminate some of that stress. Again, most of this is going to be project management things, time management solutions that are in place for you. You have project management tools, Trello, Asana. There's other ones that are in place that you can put calendars in there. You can schedule out timelines, deadlines, so you know it has to happen. You can put them in Google Calendar. I love Google Calendar because it has tasks and it will then tie into my calendar and let me see what's going on. Again, then I can use tools like Gemini that will help me understand how I'm working and if the flow makes sense and going forward. Also, with a lot of CRM tools you have out there now, there's a lot of automations. Even Gmail, if you want to just not even go into a CRM, there are tools inside of Gmail applications, add-ons that you can add that will automate that stuff for you. So, like if you have emails that are going out and you can schedule them out for the next year, put them out there, get them done. If you have other tools like social media apps can do that a lot of times. I use a tool called Social Bee that's in place that will manage that and automate my social media posts. I use tools like Opus Pro that schedules me out in a month in advance. I have Canva that will do the same thing. You can do a lot of tools like this that will help manage that. But your CRM is great for you, whichever one it is. If you don't know CRMs, write them in the chat box. Let me know. I will help you try to find some in place. And then you have other productivity apps like Evernote. And I love Evernote. Microsoft OneNote, if you're a Microsoft person. Both are in here and both are starting to add AI in these days. So you're starting to see some of that stuff work together and makes it go. I will tell you one of my favorite productivity apps still to this day, which talks about a lot of things we've talked about today, is an app called, well, there's several of them, but apps that use what's known as Pomodoro, Pomodoro. That will help you schedule your time, right? So most of these apps, even on your computer or your phone, you turn it on and it will turn all the peripheral stuff off, right? So you're not going to get notifications. You can't go into your email. You can't go into social media. You can't go wherever. You can decide that. And for 30 minutes, it's just straight focus time. You can put the same apps on your computer, on your desktop, and it will just turn down everything except for the tools you use to get your job done. And then it's basically like a 35, right? So 30 minutes on, 5 minutes off, 30 minutes on, 5 minutes off. And I think it's about every Pomodoro technique essentially is, I think it's about every 3 hours, maybe it'll give you a bigger break, right? It helps because when you look at the Pomodoro technique and you do this, it helps you re-engage, right? You get up, you walk around, the brain comes out. Now you refocus, new thoughts come in, new things take place, and it helps keeps things working. So that's some technology. I'm also going to talk about the fact that we are human and we love group interaction, or at least most of us do. Some of us will say we don't. Most of us really do. And I'm going to tell you, so let's come in there and find that support system. Facebook, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Facebook, does have some really good groups out there that help you go through. And that's what I use Facebook for. Like I'm part of John Maxwell, and they have amazing groups in here where I can chat with them and get insight and get refocused and get re-energized in here. So you can do that, so there's online communities, like I just said, where you can find that. I will tell you, be very careful, especially for us in realtors, because some of those groups can be a little more interesting than others, where they're not always giving you the best advice. But pick one. And once you pick one, go for it. Interact, participate, be in there. Maybe it's not even a real estate group. Maybe it's a hobby or whatever interest groups that you have. Go to events, webinar style. So if we're still talking online, go to events, come in there and find webinars or virtual conferences. I just had a summit. I did a video summit to help me get better with video. And I'm still watching some of those videos. Before I started this, I was watching. When I get done with this, I'll watch some more. Get on there. They're helpful. They help keep you motivated. They give you new ideas. They help brainstorm, reinvigorate you. They're really good. But if you want to, go in person, go to local networking groups. Our associations are great for that. They always have events, they're always having topics that are timely and useful for you. So go in and join those local realtor groups and associations. Find a mentor. If you want to have someone in person, find that coach or mentor that helps you and guides you and gives you that balance in life and maybe that outside perspective and different ways of thinking, right? Those are always really good solutions. Almost last but not least, if you want to, don't be afraid. Everyone uses the word mentors anymore, but mentors doesn't have to be necessarily an in-person live, someone you physically know. It can be virtual mentors or resources. Go with books, right? There's a lot of real estate books. I just mentioned Atomic Habits. Millionaire Real Estate Agent is another really good book for that. There are a lot of good realtor books out there, but there's also a lot of side ones that are there to help you go and grow in your business. Make sure you're in there and working with them and getting that stuff done. But you always can follow your industry leaders or people you respect, leaders in areas, and watch them. Watch their YouTube channels. Listen to them on a podcast. Read their blogs. However you like to however you learn, take it from that material. I'm a huge podcast audiobook person because I'm on the car a lot, so that really helps me get done. All right. I really do hope this helps you. Remember that you're not alone in this journey. Every realtor faces stress and challenges, but it's how we handle them that sets us apart. Empower yourself by seeking support from others in your area. This could be colleagues, local realtor groups, or even online communities. Don't forget the power of virtual mentors, books, speakers, and podcasts. These resources can provide valuable guidance and inspiration. Believe in your ability to overcome these doldrums and thrive in your business. You're capable of achieving great things. And sometimes all it takes is just a little support and positive mindset to make it happen. Keep pushing forward and don't hesitate to reach out for help when you need it. Together, we can achieve more than we could achieve alone. Hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share your own tips in here. I'd love to hear them. Let's support each other and grow together. We'll see you at the next training.